Let's be honest, a lot of people love old cars until they actually have to live with one. Owning an old car sounds amazing. You imagine weekend drives, compliments at gas stations, and feeling more connected to the road than anyone in a modern crossover. And then reality shows up. The heater doesn't work, the windows stop working, the fuel gauge starts making up its own numbers, and suddenly your dream car is trying to be its best to become a driveway ornament. Or one very expensive garden gnome. But, and here's the but, not every old car is like that. Some old cars are genuinely good daily drivers. I'm gonna show you cars that you can take to work, drive on long road trips, sit in traffic with, and still enjoy every time you get behind the wheel. So today we are looking at these 6 old cars that you can genuinely daily drive. Not garage queens, not weekend toys, but actual daily drivers. So let's start with number 6. This car is proof that sometimes being boring is actually a compliment. Because if you ever walk past an Audi A4 B5 in a parking lot, there's a very big chance that you have never even noticed it. No giant thing, no aggressive styling, nothing special going on. Just a normal looking German sedan, or Avant if you want to say it like that. Nothing special. But underneath the boring exterior is one of the best engines Audi have ever made. The legendary 1.8 turbo. And that's exactly why the B5 makes this list. The engine is simple, parts are everywhere, the aftermarket support is enormous, and when properly maintained, they are capable of covering serious mileage. But what I really like about the B5 is how modern it still feels. The driving position is comfortable, the interior still feels solid, it cruises happily on the highway, and unlike many old cars, it doesn't constantly remind you that it's very old. It's also one of the cars that can be basically whatever you want it to be. Leave it stock and it's comfortable daily, or throw a few modifications at it, and suddenly you got a genuinely entertaining turbo car. And let's be honest, the idea of driving a turbocharged German sedan every day sounds a lot cooler than telling people you drive a beige economy car. Sure, maintenance can be more expensive than a Honda, and yes, all German cars have a reputation for keeping mechanics employed, but if you buy a good one, and most importantly take care of it, the B5 A4 is still one of the most usable cars on the road today. But if the Audi is a sensible German choice, the next car might be the most underrated Japanese sports sedan ever made. Alright, now this car feels like Toyota looked at BMW and said, "That's a nice sports sedan you've got there," and then quietly built one of their own. The IS300 is one of those cars that enthusiasts have been trying to keep secrets for years, because the more people discover them, the more expensive they become. And honestly, I understand why. First of all, it's a Lexus. I hope you know that Lexus is owned by Toyota. Just saying so you don't think I am dumb. Which means reliability is almost unfair. And under the hood, it has the famous 2JZG. Yes, it's not the GTE, the one that you have in the Supra, but it still is very capable, which means you can tune it endlessly. And it will take it. Don't let the non-turbo fool you, it's still smooth, durable, and capable of ridiculous mileage when maintained properly. And unlike many old luxury cars, things generally don't explode just because you looked at them wrong. The IS300 also has something that many modern cars are missing. A character, rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated straight six, good steering with a balanced handling. It's the kind of car that makes even boring commutes way more enjoyable. And while it's not the fastest thing on the road, it feels special enough that you don't really care. And the best part, you get all of that without the ownership anxiety that comes with many European alternatives. It is reliable enough for daily use, fun enough to keep enthusiasts happy, and cool enough that car people immediately understand why you bought it. And honestly, if somebody told me that they want an old sports sedan they could trust every day, the IS300 would be near the top of my recommendation list. But if the Lexus is smooth and refined, then just wait for the next car because it's basically a brick with a turbocharger. Alright, I absolutely love the fact that this car exists. Because somebody at Volvo looked at a practical family wagon and thought, you know what this needs? Boost. And thankfully, nobody stopped them. The Volvo 850 T5 is one of the coolest sleepers ever built. From the outside, it looks like something your accountant drove in the 1990s. Then you find out it has a turbocharged 5-cylinder engine, and suddenly things get a lot more interesting. And let's talk about that engine for a second. Because the 5-cylinder sound is one of the most unique sounds in the automotive world. You hear it once and you instantly know what it is. But the 850 isn't just about the engine. It's basically a complete package. Comfy seats, huge practicality, excellent visibility, and enough space to move half of your house if necessary. And somehow it still manages to be fun. And this is a rare combination, because most practical cars are basically boring. And also most fun cars are basically impractical. And somehow the Volvo sits right in the middle. It's also one of those cars that gets cooler the older it becomes. 20 years ago, it was just a Volvo. Today, it's a turbocharged Swedish legend. And if you told me I had to drive one every day for the next 5 years, I would probably cry in the corner. But I would hardly take it. It's fun, it's practical, but I will have a better car that I would drive for the rest of my life in this list. So I will see you at number 2 with that. Let's drop into number 3. Alright, so Saabs are cool cars, let's just say that. But outside of cool, they are very special, they are unique. This is a car, when I spot one, I immediately know that the owner is either a genius or just completely insane. Or possibly both. The Saab 9.9 Aero is one of the greatest forgotten performance sedans ever made. And I genuinely mean forgotten. Ask an average person about fast sedans from the early 2000s and they'll mention BMW, Mercedes, maybe Audi. Meanwhile, the Saab is sitting quietly in the corner wondering why nobody remembers it. Which is a shame, because the Aero was seriously quick. Most versions produce around 250 horsepower from a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which was a very healthy number for the time. And unlike some performance cars that only come alive at high RPMs, the Aero delivers huge amount of torque, and this thing just absolutely loves highway driving. Put your foot down and it will just keep pulling, trust me. And then the interior, the seats are fantastic, the ride is comfortable, the cabin feels unique, of course that Saab uniqueness it has, and unlike German luxury cars from the same era, it doesn't feel like it's trying to impress anyone. It's just doing its own weird Swedish thing. Sure, finding certain parts can be more challenging than finding BMW parts, and yes, Saab no longer exists, which is generally considered bad news for a car company, but the enthusiast community is still strong and many parts remains available. The biggest surprise is just how modern it still feels. Get into a well-maintained 9.5 Aero today and it genuinely doesn't feel like it's a relic. It feels like a car that was ahead of its time. And if you ever wanted a fast, comfortable, slightly weird daily driver that almost nobody else owns, the Saab might be the perfect answer. But while the Saab is a hidden gem, the next one is definitely not that. In fact, it's probably one of the most respected old cars ever built. Alright, so the W124 isn't just a car. Let's just say that, because it's a statement. A statement that says, I value engineering more than trends. Because Mercedes built this thing during a period where accountants apparently hadn't discovered the company yet. Because for Mercedes, the goal wasn't to build the cheapest car possible, but to build the best car possible. And honestly, it shows. Everything about the W124 feels over-engineered. The doors close like a bank vault, the seats are comfortable enough to cross continents, the suspension soaks up bad roads effortlessly, and somehow the entire car feels like it was designed to survive a small apocalypse. There's a reason these cars became famous all over the world. People use them as taxis, police cars, business cars, family cars, and somehow many of them are still on the road today. That's not luck, that's engineering. Now, are they fast? Not really. At least not most of them. But as I said, speed isn't why the W124 is on this list. It is here because it's one of the easiest old cars to live with. You can drive one every day, drive it to work, take it on a road trip, sit in traffic, and it will do all of those things without complaint. In many ways, it feels more solid than some modern cars, and that's honestly kind of embarrassing for modern cars. The W124 proves that the reliability and comfort never go out of style. But as much as I respect Mercedes, there's still one car I would rather choose over it. One car that, in my opinion, represents the perfect old daily driver. So if I could only pick one from this entire list, that would be this one. No hesitation, no second thoughts. Is the BMW E39 530i. It is, in my opinion, of course, one of the best daily drivers ever made. Not just one of the greatest old daily drivers, but the greatest daily driver ever built. Period. And the reason is simple. It does everything well. The E39 is comfortable, it's practical, it's reliable when properly maintained, it's spacious enough for everyday life, and unlike many luxury sedans, it's actually fun to drive. That's the magic. Most cars force you to choose. You can have comfort or handling. You can have practicality or driving enjoyment. But the E39 somehow gives you both. The steering is fantastic, the chassis is beautifully balanced, and the 3-liter natural aspirated straight-six is one of BMW's best engines. It's smooth, responsive, reliable, everything you want from a daily driver. What's even more impressive is how modern the car still feels. You can get into an E39 today and immediately understand why enthusiasts love them. Nothing feels outdated or awkward, everything just works, and honestly, I think that's why the E39 has aged so well. It wasn't built around trends, it was built around fundamentals. Good steering, good visibility, good comfort, and good engineering. Those things never become obsolete. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. No car is perfect. Maintenance and rust still exists, and honestly, if you buy a neglected one, your wallet may decide to file a restraining order against you. But a good E39? A good E39 is something special. BMW has built fast cars, more powerful cars, more expensive cars, but I'm genuinely not convinced that they have built a better all-around daily driver than the E39. And that's why the E39 530i takes the #1 spot on this list. So yeah guys, those are my picks for the best old cars that you can actually daily drive. And I am sure some of you are already typing angry comments. Where's the Corolla, where's the Civics, why there is no Miata on the list? But trust me, I know, there are plenty of old cars that didn't make it on the list. But this isn't a list of the most reliable old cars or the cheapest old cars. It's a list of old cars that you can genuinely use every day by still enjoying them. These are cars with personality, character, and cars that will make you look forward to driving. Because life is too short to drive boring cars. Now I genuinely want to hear your picks, guys. What's the best old car you have ever daily driven or you want to daily drive? Let me know in the comment sections down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button and also hit subscribe if you haven't already for more automotive content, and this is the only way you can basically help me. With this one click, it's a huge help for me. Now what you have to do is just stay very positive, drive safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.